Hey everybody, thanks for being here. I tried not to be late tonight, but I think I was late by like 20 minutes. So apologies for that. And thank you for being so patient with me pushing this back from last night. I appreciate that also. It's just that this live stream, there's a lot here, and I had to pull from notes that they're just extensive. There's a lot that I also feel like with this situation, I can't say everything because it's not my place. Some people take it upon themselves all the time to tell other people's stories. I do not do that. So there's going to be certain things that I say that might offend some people tonight. That's just a part of all of this. So bear with me. It's a difficult stream because it's a difficult situation and a delicate one. Hey, niece, how are you? Angie Lee, good to see you. Roger Spanish, welcome. Shanna B, hey. Alanis, Harley Yaya, Scout, Day Tripper, Bridget, Sarisa, Sippy, hey, Eden. Yeah, you guys are joking about me being late. Hi, Dye Designs. How are you? Memphis Mommy Mars, Emergency Me, Wicked Stitches. Good to see you. Good to see you guys. Let me see. I'm going to go through the chat. There's a couple people here that I haven't seen before. Hey, Woman of Steel. How are you? So we're going to throw it way back because this is a situation that has progressed over the last over 2 years. And it's something that I watch pretty closely. I don't always stay up on it, but the other day, it was about, well, I think it was 10 days ago now, there was a stream that Josh at the lab did. And what I did think was odd was that Chris was not there for it. I can understand why. So, hey, Bridget, Sunshine Girl. All right. I'm going to pull this live stream up really quick. Sweet Faces, how are you? Boss Lady, Nika, KNS, Kimmy D. Let me get this really quick. So I listened to this a second time last night. This is an interrogation call, and I will drop the link for you. Hold on a sec. Let me put this in the chat. This is Josh at the lab who promised he would never do what he's doing now. I spoke to Josh a long time ago about the exploitation of survivors. Okay, this is his stream that I just dropped in the chat. If you're catching it on the replay, it's in the live chat. It was done 10 days ago. It's the interrogation of Don W. Wells with Roy City Police Department detective. The detective, many people have been talking about that it's Josh and it's not the detective. You can actually compare the voice of the man on this call to the actual detective. He's got some clips out there. Could someone drop that actually in the chat? I know that we were looking at it last night in Discord. I want people to be able to click on that so that they know. I know a lot of people are saying it's Josh on that recording. It is definitely not Josh, although they sound alike. It's very uncanny, but it's not. All right. So yes, it is very important that people are here for this. Hi, Red Riding Hood. How are you, Sheila, Kara, Christy Solo? So I listened to this a second time last night, and listening to it for the second time was a little bit different. But what caught my eye, and I would like for you guys, actually, before I share this, I wanna actually pull these up so that you all can see them. Now, this here is an example. They were spamming the chat over there while this was going on with Stop, Daddy, stop. This call had nothing to do with Summer Wells at all. The detective actually said on the call he was not familiar with Summer's case when Don had asked, "Do you know anything about my missing daughter?" This chat it's horrendous. Okay, let me pull up a couple of them so you can see. I asked Josh if he would remove these. I don't know if he has. So it was kind of like a monkey see, monkey do type of thing over there. I suppose when one person does it, the whole chat does it. Like I said, the call had nothing to do with Summer. I think that it's absolutely abhorrent to put her into this category. Okay. If you're going to speak about the essay of any survivor or victim, and it's not Summer, why place Summer inside of this call? Had nothing to do with her. I want to know where Josh's moderators were. You've seen that a lot in chats. So I guess that it would be up to the channel holder to go back and fix this, or it would be up to the moderators to make sure that they tell the chat that things like this are not acceptable. I was really grossed out to see this, Josh. Why you would allow this to go on in your chat and to place essay on Summer, I have no idea. It is just dreadful. It's disgusting. Yeah, so stop, Josh, stop. It's not acceptable. This is not okay. Where in the world would anybody think to put essay on Summer Wells is acceptable? Why are the moderators over there not handling it? I can't understand for the life of me why people in this chat didn't say something and why his mods are okay with this and didn't stop it from happening. It went on and on and on. So it was spamming in his chat. Stop, Daddy, stop. Okay. Hi, Susan. How are you? That would never stay in my chat. No, it would be deleted immediately and the people would be blocked. So that would never fly here. I don't think it would fly in many places. And if people are allowing that, I would definitely stay away from chats like that. Summer doesn't deserve that kind of disrespect. We have no proof that Summer was essayed at all. I don't understand why it's turning into this and why this is going on and why the good people of this community don't say anything. Now, I want to also bring attention to one more thing. There is a man here in this community we are all very familiar with, Josh, okay? The man in this chat is actually up for charges of rape. He's in this chat. They're all talking to him in this chat while they're discussing Summer and discussing victims of SA. Chatting with all the chatters here, and everybody knows this is it. It was a video that was put out earlier in the year, okay, where he admitted to raping his girlfriend. Now, this entire community heard that. Why he would be allowed there, I have no idea, Josh. So those who say that they do not support the abuse, sexual abuse of anyone, are going to sit around with an actual rapist in the chat. So yes, the community has become very lost, but it's also disturbing in every way that a law enforcement officer who is retired is really spearheading and has been for the last 2 years, all of this. Now, Josh also, in that interrogation video, outed another victim and said their name. I'm not going to play that part. I would really like for Josh to go back and edit his live and remove it. He knows exactly where it is. I did notice, though, that he redacted certain words for his monetization. Those words were not taken out by law enforcement. For whatever reason, law enforcement did not redact any of the names of the victims or the things that happened to them. They were all it was all put out to the public. Names, their full names. Okay. And what happened to them. Okay. The allegations of what happened to them while this man was speaking to Don Wells, nothing was redacted. But Josh did, however, let me play something before I get into this. Josh did make it very clear that he redacted the detective's name so that no one will call to bother him. And I want you to hear that. All right. So let me give you that here because I know that there was a little bit of a discrepancy with that earlier today. So here, I'm going to play this one part for you. So redact a detective's name, but not the victim's names in the call. So protecting a detective over victims over at the labs. Now, this is just to start this off. I want you to hear what Josh says here. He redacted the name. It was not law enforcement that redacted. It was Josh by his own admission. Okay. There's also a very important part in this live stream. This was the one they did 2 days later. Hey, Stacey, where they're sitting here and discussing how people were accusing Josh of being the one interrogating Don on the call. Now, Chris says some very interesting things about fake detectives. We're going to get into that too, but listen to this first.
People like everybody feel, Hawkins County. I don't care about any of that. And one of the reasons that people got really upset was that I actually did cut his last name out. And the only reason I did that is because I didn't want a bunch of psychotic people calling the detective and bothering him.
Okay. Yes, his priorities are a bit skewed here. So he redacted the name of the detective. I want everyone to be clear on that it was not law enforcement that did that, right? It was Josh. He put the detective's anonymity before the victims. Spiritual Being says, I've always wondered how this community was before Summer's case. Was it the same or different? Someone told me it wasn't like this a few years ago. Right. Summer had a beautiful community before. I would say for the first couple months, things got very messy thereafter. So Lisa Kay says, CM has been interfering in Summer's investigation from the start. I'm sure Michael Crow could see where this is going. Well, shame on me because I was very supportive of Chris for many months in the beginning until I wasn't. And I can get into the reason for that also. So, yeah, he should have never played this. No, it is for money. All of this is for money. It's all for personal gain. There's not a doubt in my mind. And the exploitation of these women has been going on for 2 entire years, all for money. And if they think that these women don't know that, they are mistaken. Okay. Hey, Stacey, thank you so much. Thank you for always being here and for always helping in this chat because I know it can be so stressful at times. I didn't realize that he said this. Yes. So I want to make sure that everybody knows this is not new. I spoke with Josh about putting these women out here like this, probably, I would say, upwards of 8 months ago. He said he would never do it again. He was so apologetic for putting one of their names out there as a tool to get a rise out of Dawn, which this is only a plan to get a rise out of Dawn. There is no case in Utah. There has not been a case in Utah for a very long time. Okay, since he was picked up for drunk driving, Jeannie dropped her charges way back then. Mary did not have a case because Mary's did not meet the qualifications. Okay, so they brought in someone else. Okay, and this is how this has come to take shape. There is no case in Utah. Chris is well aware of this. He has been for a very long time. And after this call, the interrogation call, it is disturbing. Yes, very disturbing, because this entire community is under the impression that there's a case in Utah against Don Wells and that he's going to be arrested and jailed. Okay, they're using this. Okay, Chris and Josh are using this as a tool to get a rise out of Dawn, which is happening. You see it happening over and over and over again. Dawn gets very upset, okay? And then there will be drinking involved and fighting involved and whatnot, right? So you see this all going on. And everybody's of the idea that there are women who are pressing charges. There is no case in Utah. Heels in the Air says, there were complaints that were being followed up on. They all make me sick. They should make you sick. This is a retired law enforcement official, okay? Chris knows, and he always knew, when I went to him long ago and I brought this information to him about Trish and Jeannie, okay, when I went to him, it was for him to help because I did not have the tools to help. Okay, I did not feel that I could take it any further, and I wanted him to protect them. What he did instead was he took these women and exploited them and is continuing to exploit them. And he's actually using one of them in particular to continue and further this. He has groomed in front of all of us one particular, okay? But because of the delicate situation that it is, and because they're already oppressed, how do they defend themselves or speak up and identify when it's happening? Okay, it is re-victimizing them over and over and over again. And it's opening those wounds every single time. I went over to Justin's a day later, and he had an old interview with Chris up. And the whole entire chat was talking about what had happened to Jeannie. And reading these comments, people have no problem putting the most distasteful comments are in the chat, right? But they're all about a woman who is not in chats, a woman who is not on panels, a woman who dropped her case and does not want to go further and never did. She just wanted to report one thing to the TBI and leave that where it was. I believe the tactics that have been used are forceful, intimidating, and manipulating, and I've been told so. I would like to know where Karen McDonough is, because that is the woman who stands behind this man right here on the screen. And I cannot believe, and I will not believe, that she thinks that this is okay. Karen McDonough I would like to ask you to ask your husband to stop exploiting these women, because you are the only woman in this situation that I feel I can call upon to ask for it to stop. You were on the phone call when Chris called me and wanted to get in touch with Jeannie and Trish, and you were there for the whole entire 3 hours. This is not what I asked for help for, okay? So I'm going to call upon the woman who stands behind Chris McDonough, who has far more credentials than him, to help in this matter so that the exploitation of victims can stop immediately before any further damage is caused. Because Don Wells is not going to be charged in Utah. And you know that. So when does this stop? Let me look at my chat really quick. Hi, Val and me. No, it was not due to statute of limitations, but thank you for bringing that up. A lot of people are under the impression that, okay, so the statute of limitations was this. It was that if you had PTSD and you were recalling memories, that is where the statute lays. Jeannie did not have trouble recalling, okay? So her answer was, I don't have trouble recalling anything. Okay? She doesn't have that problem. She remembers. Chris became irate. So I have experienced myself a situation with Chris McDonough on the telephone where I know exactly what that means. I actually dealt with it personally myself, because when you say no to Chris, he doesn't like it, and he becomes very pushy. You cannot act that way with survivors when they don't do what you want them to do, and when you try to push them into reporting and they don't even want to. But there's also another problem, because Chris will prop others up to speak for other victims, to tell their stories for them. And while they mean no harm, sometimes things are not said exactly the way they're supposed to be said, and you can't fix that. But that's not Chris's worry. He's just worried about the public eye scrutinizing and stoning Don Wells publicly every single day and every single night, using a case that doesn't exist. Niece says Josh has groomed her as well as CM. I agree with that. 100%. Lisa K says Rose Bly's detective told CM to go fly a kite when he tried to get involved, said he's all about money. That's another, Lisa K, that's another situation, right? So he also tells people that he's involved with Rose Bly's case, and he is not. So we've got a lot going on here. This man has gone too far. The boundaries have all been pressed and crossed. It is very triggering to many others. It triggers me. I don't know a single person who is not put in some kind of, distress by watching this unfold. And this has been going on for 2 years straight. And it's all to, literally, it's a witch hunt against Don Wells. Take that as you will. That's exactly what it is. And the anger that you see when he lashes out, it's because he's under the impression that certain people are out to get him. or want to see him stuck in jail for the rest of his life when that could not be farther from the truth. People just want justice for Summer. They don't want their stories exploited. They don't want their stories put out there for public consumption on the daily where they have no say at all. So you're taking a survivor who had no control in their situation, and then they have no control when you tell their story. And they have no control when thousands of people are sitting in a chat room telling their story for them or reciting what happened to them, but it's not really the way that it went, or saying that they're married to their cousin when they're not. Right? These are the things that have all been misconstrued, and the misinformation is insane. And he does nothing to stop it. He does nothing to prevent it and nothing to help fix anything. So he was told, I don't want to go further with this. I want it to stop. I'm done with this situation. Charges are dropped, right? And he's still pushing. When does it actually stop? So yes, they could please replace stop, daddy, stop with stop, Chris, stop, or stop, Josh, stop. That would be perfect. Because first of all, this isn't even about Summer. There's no proof leading to anyone to believe that Summer was SA'd. It's just a possibility. But they're using it to make you believe that Summer was touched inappropriately or any kind of SA took place because it happened in someone else's case. And that is not fair to Summer. Let me take this down really quick. So I think that the title of that second live stream is very, very appropriate. It's all lies, period. Or is it? I find it interesting. He put a period at the end of it's all lies. Right here, this is the link. Because they are lying to everybody. And there's no end in sight. Be Real says, I think CM destroyed Summer's case. I believe he has made a huge negative impact on Summer's case. Libby Lou True Crime, TM, do you still talk to Jeannie's daughter? Are she and Jeannie okay? Yes, they are. They are okay. And I can't say they're okay every day. I'm sure that this is very hard still because it's still going on. I do know that Jeannie struggled with this immensely and had some very, very, very difficult days. It became way too much. Hey, Petty Lane, how are you? Tiffany, did you not see Jeannie and Mary go on CM's panel giving their theory about Summer being trafficked? I don't see them as victims in this situation, not SA. I mean CM's narrative. Heels in the Air, yes, I did see that live stream. And I want to speak on what I know, but I just want to be very careful because I don't want to speak for anybody. But Heels in the Air, if you just know there's a lot of pushing going on, a lot of influence, if you understand, where and if you watch that, you can actually see the uncomfortability, major uncomfortability. And I understand what you're saying. With that being said, I do believe that everybody is allowed to have their own opinion of a case. But I do know that as time has gone on, that things have definitely changed as far as ideas go. And I'm not speaking on Mary's behalf. I don't know what Mary thinks or believes. I do know that that is not the general theory at this time. So Bridget says, please be sensitive with your comments in this live, especially we will remove you and let Tiffany know if needed. Thanks, Bridge. Thank you very much. Yeah, guys, keep an eye on the chat, please. Only respect for everybody involved is very important. Chris has an anger management problem, says emergency me. I've been on the other end of his anger. He's actually given me a time countdown in my text messages that if I didn't do something, I had, what did he say? I had 3 minutes to do what he said, or else. So hi, Ink, how are you? Harley, it's getting worse and worse, and it's only going to continue to get worse and worse. Is this stream not monetized? I have no idea. I don't know. I didn't look. So I'm so disillusioned and feel like a sucker. Objection BS. It's okay. Nobody could possibly know the dealings behind the scenes that are going on. And even myself, I did not know that this was a man who had ill intent. I think that in searching for answers, maybe became a little too fixated on Don. Now, if you recall back to the day that Trish came up on my panel, it was July 2nd of 2021. I left that live stream there. I didn't go pushing it on anybody. I didn't run around talking about it everywhere, making a big deal. I let Trish speak, okay? And we put out the messages that were from True Crime Sisters, because that is where Jeannie had gone in the beginning to True Crime Sisters Facebook and had written to them, okay, in their group. And Trish had come up. And when she did that, I left the live stream there, and it sat there for quite a while. I would say several months. And when that happened, when Chris had reached out to me with his wife, Karen, and they had come to me and asked to speak to Jeannie and Trish, he probably convinced that, yes, heels in the air. That is very much what I'm trying to say. So thank you. When CM lost his channel, who came to his aid trying to help him? TM? Yeah. What a great idea that was. So many good actors on here. Yeah, Eden. They really are. I'll give them that. They should have gone into Hollywood for a career. TM, I remember when you spoke up about him and how demanding he was toward you. He did the same thing to one of the victims, okay? In this case, he did the very same thing to someone else. Objection BS is I just want people to be held accountable if they broke the law, period, whoever that is. And I know I'm behind on chat, so give me a moment. And that's the point. So objection BS, that is the way that others feel. The very people he speaks of on a regular basis, they don't want Don charged for anything he didn't do. And it's like a replacement to use the SA portion of this, okay, to the point where one said, I'm dropping this altogether. I am not going forward anymore. This is not going to go on. So when it all goes bad with CM, Josh will stay. Well, yeah, they'll probably, it's ridiculous. Blockbuster News. I don't know where there's any Blockbuster News. Did someone say that there was Blockbuster News? It didn't sound like Mary wanted this all to stop on Josh's live the other day. So Scamdra Grifton, Mary has been used by them. She's been used by Chris and Josh to the fullest extent. So while I agree, yes, Mary is very comfortable, it seems, with Josh and Chris. And that is her own, comfortability. But she's not going to sound like she's upset. I don't think she is. I think that Mary very much likes them and enjoys their company. So, hey, Night Stalker, how are you? Alanis says, my heart goes out to Jeannie. Alanis, thank you very much, because Jeannie sits in silence and a lot of people speak for her on the regular. It goes on daily and she never says a word. She's trying to move on with her life. It's a sad day when retired Ellie gets on YouTube to lie for a click and a view and to destroy lives. We're all mad here says, then why didn't they call Chris out back then? Seems if they really didn't want it, they could have made him stop. Now, no way I will believe different. I believe that went on behind the scenes. We're all mad here with one person in particular. So one person put their foot down and said no more. And that was not spoken of in public. You also have to keep in mind this is someone who's actually been attacked here for speaking at all. So you're not going to probably see a victim come out and say anything at this point, right? This has been a very uncomfortable situation. Dana, thank you so much. TM, thank you so much for all the hard work you've put into this. You're an angel in this community. If Summer was here, she'd give you the biggest hug. I wish she would give me the biggest hug if she was here. Hopefully we can get back to focusing on Summer, because Summer has become so lost in the mix thanks to Chris. We can't even really have a discussion about Summer without, him exploiting her. They need to be empowered to stand up to CM. He's an abuser. Heels in the air, thank you. That's such an important comment, because when I was about to go live, you know how the pull can be, like the push and pull from YouTube and the masses as a whole. People can be so scary, right, on the internet. So when you're dealing with something like this, a lot of people, they do need the empowerment. They do need the support, and they do need to be encouraged, okay, and not forced into a corner in silence because they don't think that anybody is going to care what they have to say at this point, or that it's not going to help. It's just going to make things worse. There is a deeper situation going on, and there has been a deeper situation going on for a very long time. And without support, how does someone come speak? It's a very scary place to be in a community of thousands of people that are so hateful. So yes, the empowerment part is it's so very important, that people do empower others to speak up, right? And not to be afraid of someone like the interview room. I wish M and J would tell us what is actually happening. Is this just for YouTube? What does it have to do with justice? It's disgusting. Well, I would take out the J in that comment, because I'm telling you, there's nothing going on. Okay. There's absolutely nothing going on. She dropped it a long time ago and it was over. Now, this is the thing. Others involved are going to have to start being honest about that there is no case, because it is over. It is over. Also, another victim who was named and was never supposed to be named. Nobody even knew. Okay, no, not a single person in that family, or even in their immediate family, nor the person they were married to, knew about it. So when that was put out as a weapon, like a torpedo on Josh's live stream, okay, thrown in Don's face, That person did not know that that was going to happen. That's when Josh said he was so apologetic. And then he made sure that another person's name was put out in the interrogation video that was done the other day. So it's happened again. They have now put out another person's name. So be prepared, because that'll probably be their next move. See how these names come slipping out of their mouths, and they seep out into the public like no one's going to notice. And in fact, in the transcript, it wasn't redacted well enough. So their whole name actually shows up in the transcript. Don't believe me, Josh? Go check it out. I would take that down. The whole entire tape has their names and what happened to them all over it. And in the transcript, the full name is there, because redacting it wasn't enough. You didn't redact it enough. You did a really good job, though, on the word fingers. He redacted the word fingers. He redacted the word masturbation. He redacted the word. There's a lot of odd words being redacted throughout this. None of their names are redacted, but all these certain little parts, go listen back to it. Here, I'll give you the link again. That way you can see for yourself all of the words that he redacted. That's for monetization purposes. You guys don't believe me? You can go check it out. It's all there. Mary does seem happy making quilts and cooking, and I think that's a good thing for her to do. CM should know better. Absolutely. All words that would harm his monetization. Yes. Josh is not sorry for anything. He just made sure to do it again. So now there's another person's name that's been put out to the ether, and the whole entire world is watching. I think that video has 15,000 views on it, and they've now outed and exposed another victim. Expose and victim should not even be in the same sentence, but that's what's going on here in our own community, and people are all cheering it on. They're cheering on women's names in an interrogation call with Don Wells that are not redacted. There's no initials. Which is extremely bizarre. So does Royce City Police Department, are they aware that this call is online? Are they aware that they put out a phone call to all of YouTube with the victims' names? Because that's a whole breach. It sounds really messy to me. Our bucket list has holes says, wow, this is so sad. In my opinion, YouTube channel creators all seem to be talking behind the scenes to each other and only telling the public what they want the public to know in their videos. Yes, our bucket list has holes, and they're also making up stories. They're putting words in people's mouth wherever they see fit. They're taking it upon themselves to exploit actual human beings, the very real people and the very real nightmares that Josh refers to. He's just repeating them over and over and over. And that interrogation call will be used for years to come, just like their stories were and still are. It is wrong to tell anyone else's story in order to manipulate viewers. Eden says he is motivated by money, so can redact when it impacts his monetization. Great work, Josh. Yes, but keep in mind, the victims' names were not worthy of being redacted, and the very real nightmares that occurred were not redacted either. Okay. Crystal Lynn says, I have no idea what kind of power CM has over the lab, but he is either blind or he's scared. No, I think that Josh very much enjoys being around Chris, and the power that CM has, we are all witness to it. The power he holds here in the case of Summer Wells is extreme. And if I don't say so myself, I'd call him a monster. It's no different than someone who has abused someone, because he's using these stories incessantly over and over and over again to abuse. He's no different than Don, right? So Chris says that Don's a monster. But what is Chris if he continues to use, right, these women to get at Don? So he's using the victims of Don Wells to get a rise out of him. Do you know how dangerous that is? Do you have any idea how dangerous that is? There is a reason they are Jane Does. Why does this community allow that? Why is it even going on? Because of his power. He does have power here, a lot. And he'll ignore this, and he'll never pay any attention to what's going on, and he'll deny it all. But there is no case in Utah. There has not been since 2022. I'm reading through your comments. There is a possibility that the breach came from the Hawkins County Sheriff's side. Digital Missionist, I don't know where that breach came from, but I do know there is a breach. Neither of them are qualified to deal with SA victims. No, not at all. That call should have never been allowed to be FOIA'd. We can't even FOIA the 911 call for Summer. Well, think about it. If there was an open case in Utah, do you think that that call would ever have hit YouTube? I mean, that should tell everybody right there alone in itself without me having to say a word. Everyone should know there's no case if the call is out, right? Because in an active and ongoing investigation, you would never hear that. It would never be released. You can't FOIA anything from an open case. So you not take my word for it or anybody else's. The proof is right on Josh's channel. So if you really want to know the truth, go listen to that interrogation call. There is no case. And anyone with a brain should know that. Let's see, what is this? Lisa K. Roots, that has been confirmed by someone not associated with the broadcast. What is it? Let me see. It did not come from Hawkins County. It came from Roy, Utah. Well, keep in mind also that Chris said that he knows that man personally. So how is it possible that Roy City Police Department put out this call, right, to anyone in the mail with no redacted names? How did that happen? One has to ask, how did that happen? Is that like a part of being this guy's buddy on the side? Like what? I don't know. I've put a call in myself. So I'll let you know. So let's see. Josh is fully aware, in my opinion. I don't know if he is or not. Kiko, you know, I can't say that Josh knows anything because I do know the way that Chris operates because I've dealt with him. I dealt with him in the past, but I can't say Josh is fully aware. I did actually speak to Josh way back, but you know, he's Chris's pet, so it's all about money. Those survivors are not pawns in his game of chess to be toyed with. No, they're not, but that's what they do. I think we are all a bit desensitized, and it can be easy for people to forget this is not a TV show. Day Tripper, I agree. I think that this place is absolutely desensitized, but not so much so that people are not going to care. because I see people speaking about this, certain ones in particular, and I thank those people, because without the voices of others, those women are not protected. It would take the entire community to say this is not okay for him to be held accountable for what he's doing to them. Now, you could even say maybe Josh has been groomed a bit, right? I can't put all of that on Josh. That's why this is not about Josh. The title is not about Josh. Chris is the one who did this. Josh came in way later, very, very late in this whole entire situation. I can't say what he knows and what he doesn't. Only he can speak to that. But maybe he will. Maybe he'll tell people if he's aware that there's no case in Utah. I'm not sure. I hope he will come to realize that there isn't. And if he does know, he should be honest about that. Emergency Me, thank you very much. She says, Josh, you protected the detective from crazies, but you forgot about the crazies going after the victims. Chris, you damn well know better. How can you continue to do this to them? I'm ashamed of you both. That's the thing. He does know better. He really does know better. And he does not think that anyone's going to hold him responsible at all. And he's just going to get away with it. All the lives being destroyed. Yes. Against their will, right? Summer's case is open. Yes, but look over here. Look over here, right? California rogue ex-cop partners with California YouTuber and part-time pot dealer. What a combination. Yeah, right. It's a great combo. Heels in the Air says, it's not public record. Mary was allowed to get the recording because she is part of the case. There is no case, Heels in the Air. Mary never had a case. She is not a listed name on anything. There is no case. She never was even eligible for one. That never even came to be. Thank you so much, Eden, for gifted memberships. I don't know who got them, but thank you to you very much. My moderators will get the names so that I like to always thank you on behalf of everybody, but I think it was way back, but thank you so much. Our bucket list Hazel says, I wonder how many more secrets are out there that we still don't know. I'm sitting here with a lot in front of me that I don't even want to say. It's a very, very hard predicament to be in. Yes, so Colleen, no one is saying we don't believe anybody. Please know that. I hope you're not insinuating people don't believe people here. Okay, thank you. Hey, Peppermint Mocha. Josh is looking for content on CM's coattails. Well, that's what he's got. This is why I only come here for lives. I get so stressed with all the manipulation on victims. Yeah, Angie Lee. I don't blame you. I don't know why Josh is surprised that Don threatened him. Well, that's another thing. They want that Heels in the Air. So, and let me just say this. So there's been instances where Chris has tried to set up scenarios and situations, right, with the very people he is saying he's there to help and protect. He's asking them to make phone calls. He's asking them to do certain things to piss Don Wells off. And it's happening and occurring on a regular basis where Don is lashing out. I need Don Wells to know this isn't even true. Okay? There's no case. So he can stop getting mad. He can stop threatening Josh because that's what they want. They're looking for a way to tie up Don Wells with fake scenarios, fake situations, having people that he knows, his own flesh and blood, right? He's setting people up to get a response out of Don. And that's exactly what has gone on over and over and over again. And we've even seen that happen. We've seen them make the phone calls, record them, put them out, right? He uses them against Don. We'll call Don on the phone, and that's how it always goes every single time. That's a problem. They're using the actual victim in the situation to piss him off, to threaten Josh, right? To threaten Chris, whoever it might be, because if they can get him jammed up, they're going to. So much so that they put someone's name out who hadn't even told her own husband. Right? And Don is like a deer in headlights over there saying this, that, and the other, and then lashing out at those victims. So my question to Josh was, is that person safe? Like, are they okay? Like, do they know that he now knows their name? We know, and Chris knows, that an abuser can go kill someone after, right? An allegation like that can result in an actual murder. He knows that with no care whatsoever. All right. Someone who wanted to be anonymous, who was told she had anonymity and they would never say her name, actually told by detectives it was all confidential. And it wasn't. Let's see. I really liked Josh until he started messing around. He knew better when he helped ruin Michael Crow's life. You know who talked a lot about that, Loki, was my friend Laura. Laura actually spoke about Michael Crow's case a long time ago, and I don't have that stream, but it's out there somewhere. I think that might have been the one that I went up there and I tried to talk to Laura because I really liked Chris back then. I believe that might have been the live. Josh will have some lame excuse now that you said that, like he has to clarify what he said. He needs to actually apologize to all these ladies and stop using them for content and money on YouTube. What if the boys have been influenced by the ESA allegations? Shame on them for messing with the integrity of Summer's case. Well, let's hope not. Yes, CM uses his previous job title to manipulate people, in my opinion, and they trust him. Well, it didn't work with one person in particular, and he's been cut off for like a whole entire year, but he's still sitting there saying her name and using anything he possibly can, no matter whether it brings up bad feelings or a hopeless feeling or a helpless feeling. He will continue to re-victimize just for his show. Heels in the Air says, I talked to a clerk. Complaints are assigned a case number. I am telling you what Roy City told me. Yes, the case number, that's how they're going to assign. The complaints are assigned there. I just spoke to them today, Heels in the Air, and I would be very interested to know. I don't know if you've spoken about it on your channel or not. Have you? I knew there was something about CM I didn't trust, as reap what you sow. A lot of people warned me about Chris McDonough. I should have listened. Hey, pretty sweet pea, how are you? Hey, MacB43. Trolling everyone. They can call me out whenever they want. You will do what is right no matter how tough it is. I try. This sucks. Lil Twist says CM said he coached Mary in a phone call with DW, right? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. That's exactly what he said, Lil Twist. You have a good memory. I remember when he said that. that he coached her. Yeah. Alicia P says, I'm telling you, if people knew what CM did to AK Rocks in the Suzanne Morphew case, they would be floored. Alicia, I've heard about that, but I don't know all the particulars. Has anybody told that story? Has AK told that story? It is unethical. And the code of ethics is a big deal, right? He's still supposed to uphold his code of ethics. Why do I have a code of ethics and he doesn't? I don't understand. And he's very much aware that when I went to him, I was looking for support and resources for them, not for someone to exploit them, not for someone to rip open their whole entire wound and let it bleed out over and over and over again. It wasn't for YouTube. It was so he could help. But then come to find out, he holds no position at the Cold Case Foundation also. Like he doesn't even hold a title there, right? But he tells everyone he does. That's amazing. I think the Utah thing was all about Don and had nothing to do with those victims. Yes, Crystal Lynn, you're absolutely right. It's his vendetta. And I need to make something very clear. There is absolutely no vendetta when it comes to Jeannie against Don Wells. She has no personal vendetta against him, and she wants nothing bad for Don Wells. She's not looking to harm him. She is not looking to put him ever. That's not what she was looking to do. She was looking to speak on what had happened to her and to close the door. She just wanted to tell TBI, and that was it. She wasn't looking to, have him online be attacked for a decade. That's not what was going on. Okay, she told me, and I'm going to, the best I can, reiterate, okay, that she was no longer pursuing any of this. Okay, and she did not have a vendetta against Don. She doesn't wake up every day thinking, how am I going to destroy his life or bring up his past abuse to try to harm him. That she was done with it when she reported it to TBI, and that was it. Okay, she had one part, that was it. And she felt that she fulfilled that one part when she called and reported it to the TBI. That's all she wanted to do. And that she was very sorry that it went the way that it did. And that she does regret going on Chris's. Now, but she can't take it back. She said she can't undo it and that she can't take it back. And she also doesn't want people to think that she's prolonging this and trying to make it worse. And that she wants the focus to fully be on Summer. That she never wanted the focus to be on her. She never wanted the focus to be anywhere else but Summer. She had no idea that it was going to turn into what it did. And I mean, none of us could have ever saw what was to come. I never saw all this coming. I never thought that all this would go on. When Trish came on my panel, I never knew that this whole entire circus and crazy train was going to take over the whole entire case online. No one could have ever saw that coming. I believe her. I don't believe she was trying to hurt anybody. I believe she was trying to help, right? So that's the thing. Social media doesn't, and she had said, the effects of social media, like you have no control over that, right? When you speak, social media doesn't allow you to really have a choice where you feel like you could clear things up, but they don't really care anyways, It's just a really, really sad state of affairs. But the thing is Chris McDonough knows all this. She never shied away from telling him these things. She was very specific in letting him know, like, listen, I don't want this. This is not what I want. I'm not looking to harm anybody. Like, I'm not looking to put him in jail for the rest of his life. That's not what I want. And he didn't like that. And he used something to break her down, something very particular, to get what he wanted out of her. These things need to be said. She gave me permission to say this a very long time ago, but I don't like speaking on behalf of anybody. I could go live every day spilling so much. Yeah. If I was motivated by clicks and views like others, she doesn't. She has class and ethics. So thank you, Eden, because I do feel that I really, it's hard because people paint a picture of you, whatever picture they want to paint, and then they take off with it and run. Like, they have no idea the things that I could sit here and say every single day. I hold on to certain things because it's not my place. They need to stop re-victimizing these women over and over and over again. It's not CM's job to invoke confessions. And that's exactly what he's trying to do. And if you have watched over the last 2 years, that's what he does with the case, right? In Utah, the Utah case that doesn't exist. He has been sitting here in front of everyone for, I don't even know how long it's been. Okay, so we've got, it's been at least 15 months. There has been zero case in Utah. Like, this shit needs to be dismantled. In our community, it needs to be dismantled. And it needs to stop. That phone call also, now remember, why are they just putting that out now? Why is it that they're using a call that was made to Don Wells back in, when was it? It was over a year ago. He was in jail. People think that this call just happened. You can hear the lady at Hawkins County Jail answer the phone, right? Why is this just being put out now? It's all a show, and they're using victims to do it. Serious question, and I'm not being shady. If one or more of the victims want to move on and are asking for people to stop talking about the situation, are they okay with you discussing it right now? Educated opinion, yes. I am okay to speak about it. I was given permission to speak about it back in March. And I would never come here and speak about something that I did not have permission to speak about. I just want to make sure that that's clear. That is not me. That's not how I handle things ever. I would never do that. Who else was it that CM coached on how to talk to the media, what to say and not to say? Brandy Neal, maybe? I'm not sure. I have no idea. I don't know what his dealings are with her. Libby Lou True Crime says, Chris and Josh, the lab, have been trying to bait Don into catching a charge ever since the DUI incident that took place on No Thanks panel that they were both on, TM. Yes, Libby Lou, and that's a perfect example, right, of how quickly things can escalate. Don H69. I have never known another missing child's case that is this much trash in it. Shame on them. It's supposed to be about Summer Moon Utah Wells. Well, hopefully people are going to wake up because this is wrong in every way. And anyone facilitating these lies, right, and helping to further their agenda is only doing harm. They're only doing harm. It's behind the scenes talk and exchanges that always distort and deflect the real issues and evidence at hand. The other abuser on that call could also be very dangerous with vengeance. Yes. Cinnamon Hot, I agree. Ellie Mae, so why are you talking about it? I'm talking about it because everybody needs to know they're being fed lies on the daily, and actual people are being used to do it, Ellie Mae. That's why. I'm here to clear up for everybody in this entire community to know that there is no case in Utah. Don't you think that's kind of important? Do you think it's important that Jeannie dropped the charges over a year ago? I do. I'm speaking on it because I have permission to. And I'm speaking on it because people deserve to know. And the people that it involves don't deserve this. There's many reasons why I'm speaking on it, Ellie Mae. But since you asked, here, let me help you out. I'll remove you. That's why. Because I do what's right, Ellie Mae. Do you? Make sure you spread the word when you're in those chats while people are lying to everybody so that they know the truth. Yes, thank you, Harley. People are killed each and every single day based on what others put out to the public. It's very scary. All right, I'm taking this personally. Keep asking the same question over and over again. Let's see. I got as far as the 642nd entry on the court docket in CM's Michael Crow lawsuit. Wow, Lisa K., you're really digging in, huh? Yes, this will stay up, Twisted. Yeah, Twisted Tea. Yes, it will stay up. Lizzie Bell says, we know you are crazy, and Don threatened to kill Josh. You ruin a lot of people's lives. He isn't doing anyone. She said that it was okay. You victimize people every day. Okay, Belle. Sure. Thanks for stopping by. Why does CM have a personal issue with DW? Is there something we don't know about in their past? I think that Chris thinks that Don is 100% guilty of Summer's disappearance. And if he's not being charged by Hawkins County and the TBI, he wants to make sure that he puts Don in jail some way, somehow. And I think that's what they've been working at for a very long time. Women of Steel says, those poor boys could eventually read everything that's been said about Summer's case. Most of it is lies. How will they ever know the truth about their sister? Women of Steel, that's such a loaded comment because I could sit here and probably talk for an hour in response to it. It's terrible. Yeah, we learn as we go. And everybody does need to know. The lies need to stop. It is affecting people. Because in his own opinion, Don is guilty of Summer's disappearance. Yep, that's exactly why. And to sit here day after day and say that he's going to be arrested for a case that doesn't exist is blasphemous. To taunt Don with it is disgusting as it is to do to the victims. In my opinion, if CM had started about the sisters, more light would have been on Summer. I think that if he would, I think that he could have spoken about it once and been done. But what he did was he took it on like it was a little infant baby, and he's just growing it into adulthood, which is absolutely psychotic. I think he needs to turn in his law enforcement badge now, right? It's time, right? No one has the right to interfere in an active and ongoing investigation, no matter what investigation it is. Well, that would be truly, it would be on Don and Candace to, I believe that they'd have a case against him. Seems like CM has had it out for Don ever since he accused him of hiding in the shed. Miss you, that might have actually increased a lot of the issues. I think that you're probably right with that. I think you're onto something there and he knows that Don wasn't hiding in the shed. Chris knows. He does it only to get a rise out of Don. Chris McDonough knows that Don Wells was not hiding in the shed because Karen was sitting in the car. Yeah. She was sitting in his truck. She never got out of the truck. So while Chris was in the house, she was sitting right there in the shed. And while I was on the phone with Chris, I actually asked him about it. I said, you left Karen in the truck? I was like, okay. I was like, was Don out there? And he was like, no. And I said, oh, so he wasn't hiding in the shed? And he was like, no. And I was like, oh, okay. Because I was going to say, if Karen was in the truck and Don was out there, wouldn't you have worried, right? No one knows that Karen was in the truck. So, yeah, that's it. I didn't even think about that until you just said that. So that would mean Chris had left Karen out in the truck while Don was hiding in the shed and the truck was parked right next to it, right? Wherever there is a high-profile active case, boom, you will find CM all up in the mix. Why retire? I know. Why didn't he just stay a cop? I don't get it. AK talked about it on Scientific Skeptic. Yeah. Okay, I would definitely like to hear that, but he is a liar. He's a bona fide liar. Chris literally sent police to AK Rock's home and tried to make it look like AK was a child predator. What? Oh my God. You can take that idiot out if you want to, emergency me, unless I already, did I remove her already? I can't remember. I found that out when I reported his channel to YouTube via Twitter. Kate Youth says, here is my question. Would any of this be a conversation if Don and Candace had not come to YouTube? Wouldn't even be a topic per se, or maybe it would, I don't know. Kate Youth, I think it would have been because it was originally brought to Facebook, so possibly, but I don't think it would have turned out the way that it has. Just like when Don and Candace opened their home to Chris, right? It wasn't exactly a bad situation. I actually found Candace to be, I felt a lot of compassion for her in that interview with her. So I always thought that it was a good thing because we got to see more and hear more. Let's see. Apparently, CM is head of the Cold Case Foundation. Scout, he's listed nowhere. I've looked. He's not listed anywhere. I've seen no proof of that. I don't know what he does, but if he can do this to the women involved, I don't think he should be the head of any kind of I don't know. You'd have to put him in all the categories. How can he be the head of any cold case foundation when he's exploiting victims? You know, like, I don't know. I would like Karen to speak on this. I would like Karen McDonough to speak on this because I do hold her to a higher standard than I hold Chris McDonough. And she's aware of all of this. She knows all of this. And it's going to take a woman, okay? Joy Morgan, you know, it was very uncomfortable for me. The first time he ever put Jeannie on his panel, he had no feelings. If you go back to that, it was so alarming. It was like a blank stare. And he was just like completely out there. There was no feeling whatsoever None. CM is a liaison between CCF and the news media, I believe. Woman of Steel, no, that's Karen, his wife. She's in charge of the media. Chris is listed nowhere at all. Harley Yaya says, this really bothers me a lot. It's wrong on many levels. I can't believe this is actually happening. I can't either. And I'm not going to sit here with what I know and not say anything. I'm just not. And I'm not going to say everything I know either, because I don't think this is over. I would like them to tell the truth. And I gave Chris 2 whole days. He had 2 whole days to come forward and say that this is not actually happening. I will stay right here and I will continue to tell the truth about Chris for as long as it takes. That is so sad to know that he does that to those victims. Yes, he does. Every day he has no feeling or care in the world about it, and he's going to continue to do it. And he's going to sit and tell everybody that there's a case in Utah. He's going to continue to lie. He exploited their trauma. He has no problem doing it. It's almost like he enjoys it. Yeah, and now it's too effing late. That's what is absolutely heart-wrenching. So sorry, Jeannie. Love to you, says Lovelyn 2.0. I think Jeannie should be given the opportunity to really move on. She wants nothing more than for Summer to be found, and she does not want to hurt Dawn. That was not her intention. And the lies that have been strewn around, the person doing it knows too. There's a lot of exaggerations. There are a lot of things that are not as they are presented. I think people should definitely stop speaking for her. And unless you heard it from Jeannie, and she's only spoken on YouTube twice, that's all that should ever be shared. I think that it's gone too far. So when you speak of her, I think speaking of the things that she has said or you have seen written by her is the best way to go. Hold on one sec. Emergency me. If you even have to explain that to people, let me read this. This isn't about supporting DW. This is about what's happening to the victims of SA by Chris and Josh. Please chat, don't get it confused. This is about the truth. The truth is the truth. And whether it's in favor of Dawn or not, it's the truth. And to torment somebody constantly on the daily with something that's not going to happen, especially like fear of law enforcement, right? To make someone believe that they're going to be in handcuffs and in a jail cell for the rest of their life when it's not even happening isn't going to help anything. I don't agree with it. I just don't. No one should. What is this going to help Summer? You know? They can take it whichever way they wish. If they want to say that I support Dawn Wells, let them. I don't even care. I don't care. The truth is the truth. And anybody who's okay with a lie because they don't like Dawn, no. I don't want them around me. Disappointing knowing all this. Yeah, Joy Morgan, I kind of feel like I just want to like crawl out of my skin most every single time I hear them lie. It's got to the point that I cannot take it anymore. And listening to that phone call and listening to all those women's names just thrown out there with all of the things that ever happened to them, shame on you, Josh. You're lucky I have a heart because I have some choice words for you, but I'm going to keep my mouth shut. Well, Profiling Evil cut the cord from Chris, right? So there's a reason for that. I'm sure Mike at Profiling Evil has plenty of opinions and stories. I wish we would ever know what he has to say, because imagine if someone like that spoke about it. I used to like him when he first joined Profiling Evil. Now I think he is a disgusting egomaniac. He is an egomaniac, in my opinion. He just wants to make a name for himself, no matter the price, while making money on YouTube, in my opinion. Let's see. No peppermint, only vanilla bean. I was trying to tell it last night, but didn't want certain ones to see. What were you trying to tell? I'm sorry. What? Tell us. So I'll read it for you. No peppermint. Why did CM go after AK? I don't know all of that story. Someone was talking about it earlier. But that's very interesting. I can send it in Messenger or Discord if you have one. I do. I have my I have Discord. Mm-hmm. Hey, Tina G. East Coast Beauty. Hey, don't worry about it. There's probably going to be a follow-up to this live stream. So there'll probably be 2 parts. This is just the first part. Hey, Mamita, how are you? You're welcome, Joy Morgan, anytime. Lovelyn, that call infuriates me to no end. Yeah, Lovelyn, it was really hard to listen to both times, but the second time even harder. And I listened to it with a group last night, and I would love to react to that call, but I will not, because of all of the information in that call. It should never be heard by anybody, and I do not agree with it being out there. Josh blamed it on the weather change that he put that call out. He said he mulled over it for quite a while, and he didn't care if anybody liked it or not, because the weather changed. Or what was it? The weather changed or the time changed? The time changed. Yeah, the time change. He blamed the reason why he put it out on the time change. He's like, yeah, the time change and all. What? But he had plenty of time to redact certain words so that his monetization wouldn't be affected, and the detective's name, while he leaves the victims completely exposed. I think that should tell us all about Josh that we ever really need to know. Has CM led the survivors to believe there was a case in Utah all this time, TM? Niece, no. But he has led the public to believe there was a case for certain people that was never, all right, never existed. So he told people one person in particular had a case when they did not. And then he told people when he knew one particular person dropped it, he acted like it never happened after he became very harsh with the person on the phone. I would love to know more about Jose, because I think CM had way more to do with finding him and doing that horrendous interview. Also, I think it's very important to note that, speaking of that, there was a while back, I was going through my messages with Chris McDonough yesterday, and what I found in there was a screenshot of me, right, sending Stacy Slay's Facebook profile to him. Now, Stacy Slay is the fake federal agent, right? We all know about that story. Well, Stacy Slay was reaching out to Trish, asking her for her address. September 2nd, 2021, telling Trish that she was on the phone with Chris McDonough. So Trish reached out to me and said, hey, can you ask Chris if he works with this lady? Because, she's in my DMs and she's asking a lot of questions. And now she's asking me where I live. And she said she just got off the phone with Chris a little while ago and that she works with him. I had forgotten all about it. So when I was going through my messages with Chris, it was literally like right before I pushed back my live to today. I have to wonder if Chris had involvement with that as well. I'm really not sure. But Stacey Slay was reaching out to Trish very early on. Chris said, nope, never met her. That was his answer. Nope, never met her. I thought that was odd too. But then I hear him on Josh's telling everybody that if there was a fake detective, he'd have been all over it. And that he would have, hold on, let me pull it up. Let me see. So why was Stacey Slay reaching out to Trish, telling her that she worked with Chris? So weird. And did Chris never hear about the fake federal agent that was running around trying to, gain information from people in Summer's case, like people in Summer's actual case? Because I find that to be so interesting. So let me pull this up really quick. Listen to what he says right here. I'm going to play it for you. Because we really do have a situation in this community with a fake federal agent. And Chris says that he would take care of something like that if it ever came to be, right? So Josh is sitting here talking about how people said it was him on that phone call, right? Listen, Chris, what do you know about fake federal agents? Because if it was a fake detective, you'd have been all over it, he said. He just must not have cared about this one.
And I know whose voice that was. And it was definitely not Josh Diaz, because quite frankly, if it was, I'd be the first one to turn him in.
He'd be the first one to turn him in.
And have him hooked up for, not only impersonating a law enforcement officer, which is a felony, by the way.
Yes.
But simultaneously, I think he would have come after you individually outside of me. I'm teasing you, of course, as a friend.
No question.
But for that type of stuff, it's just another sideline move that who and a couple other folks around him
impersonating. But then you're also fooling government officials, wiretapping, so on and so on. I mean, there's
you
a list.
You would have not gotten past the screening process into the jail.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That the highest profile inmate that they had in that jail was Don. Congratulations.
No, it wasn't Josh. It was not Josh. It's definitely the detective. Hey, mind your business. How are you? I don't know why people are saying it was Josh. I have no idea. What I find to be so interesting is that Chris says he'd be the perfect person, right? He'd be the one to handle it all. I will give you this link again. You guys can listen to it. It goes on and on. He talks about it for quite a bit. Listen to this part. He just didn't care about the actual fake Fed in Summer's case. Hey, Sage Sleuth. It sounded just like him. I think it sounded like him, but not. I knew it wasn't him when I heard it, but I know people have been saying that they think it's Josh, but it's not. If I were him, I'd be weirded out and looking into this Stacey person, Yeah, I mean, she was only running around telling everyone she worked with him. I mean, she reached out to Trish and said she was working with Chris. I mean, I found it strange and I went through it, and Chris just wrote back, nope, never met her. Nope, never met her. He didn't even say, who is this person? He didn't say, let me have a talk with this person. Let me try to figure out why she's representing herself to be working with me. She's reaching out to Jeannie's daughter, right? I had no idea. Didn't even remember about it. Everyone's been, looking into all this for so long. But she always said, right, that she worked with Chris McDonough. I just forgot that she had gone to Trish. I have the messages now. They're all fresh in my records, but this is the stuff that was pushed down, for whatever, how many years. It's almost been 2 years. Thank you. Emergency Me just dropped John Frawley. That's the interview with, there's a little 2-minute clip in there. You guys can actually see him speaking. So we can clear up that it's not Josh at the lab. Oh, Kimberly, thank you for being a member for 22 months. Hey, Zippity Doodah. Where are you? I see people saying hi to her, but I don't see her in here. Let's see. I don't see Zip. Oh, there she is. Zippy, I hope you're good. I don't believe Karen would ever do something like that. I really don't. Let's see. Trish is someone many here really trust. Those screenshots say so many things and have so many questions. Yeah, Bridget. I won't share anything that Trish has sent to me. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's extremely disconcerting. It was odd, right? Because I mean, I would have absolutely confronted the person. September 2nd, 2021. Yes, Di. Yes. It was the day after my live about the neighbor. That Penny said that there was a neighbor. Remember all that? Yes. Yeah, September 2nd, 2021. Stacey Slay was reaching out to Trish. Mm-hmm. Who knows? Thank you so much for being a member for 23 months. Will you be posting this live chat? Sadly, I have to go. Oh, yes, I always keep my chats up. You mean on the replay? Yes, I will. I've always put my chats with my lives. I don't think you'll ever find a live without a chat. I don't like that. I always like people to be able to watch the chat back. I think the chat is so important. Joined late. I went back to the beginning to catch up on a double speed, and I'm almost there. Love you, Tiffany Mods in chat. Awesome, Zip. I'm so glad you're here. Gracie, thank you so much. I'm so glad to see you. Well, I wish I was here under better terms today. I never knew this about Josh, the time change, for fuck's sakes. Yeah, Beach Lady. When he said the time change, I was like, oh my God. He will literally say anything that anybody noticed that he used that as the reason why he put this call out. Like the time change messed him up. Like, wow. It's insane. Chris McDonough is listed as Investigator Director of Law Enforcement Relations on the Cold Case Foundation website. Erica St. John, where is that? Is it in small print at the bottom somewhere? He's not listed amongst any of the people. I swear. I wouldn't lie. I went through all the names. Kathy Rivera, why bring it up? I don't know what you're referring to. You have to, I have to know more. I heard there was no case at all in Utah. Then let it go. Kathy Rivera, yeah, you'll have to tell Chris and Josh that, because we here don't talk about that. We don't try to re-victimize people daily all day. You got to go tell them, because I'm here to make sure everybody knows, like that there isn't one. But I don't like to talk about these ladies. I don't think it's fair to do that to them. They deserve to have a normal life. They deserve to wake up and start their day and not end their day with some kind of surprise, like they need to stop. They really do. They need to let it go for sure. I wish that they would. Hello, Blue Bonnets. How are you? CM lied to Trisha, she takes no prisoners. I remember that. I do. I remember that. And then I remember apologizing to Trisha at Web Sleuths because I was such a bitch to her. Yeah. I always had a sense about AB and CW, but Josh, question mark? Huh? Trisha at Web Sleuth spoke on him, and he lost his mind in an unvetted video about her and Skeptic. I think I remember him bugging out about that. Yep. He has a lot to answer for, Chris does. He has a lot of apologizing to do. Objection. Chris did say he was friends with this John Frawley guy. Yes, he did. He said that they're personal friends. He has a personal relationship with them. Something to that effect on Josh's. Yeah. Josh is the same guy who scammed a girl in here pretending he loved her whilst already in a relationship just for money. How many has he done that to? Where's Nina? Hi. I think YouTube may be removing everybody's live chats. I don't see live chats anymore. Leslie Earhart even put out a statement that Chris had zero involvement in the Summer Wells investigation, and they never shared anything in the investigation with him. Yes, she did. I remember that, Alicia P. I remember, and I believe that was after I stopped talking to him, though. Hey, Lippy, do you need a helmet? No. You don't need a helmet, but maybe later. His name is listed on the investigator tab. Stacy, thank you so much. Thank you. Why did it take so long to speak up against him if he's been wrong for 2 years? He's made hundreds and thousands of dollars off of them. I've spoken about Chris many times before. So just so you know, that's been done twice. I think maybe even 3 times here, but this is a bit different. You may have missed that though when I did that, which is fine, but just know this is not the first time that I've spoken against Chris. I've done it several times on my channel. This here though needs to be done, and everybody needs to know the truth about him for sure, because this cannot go on any longer with what he's doing to these people. I know for a fact that CM edited H's interview. I have to wonder what else he edited in that and other interviews. Yes, Heels in the Air. Wouldn't that be so interesting? Like the outcuts that he's done. So that's when I actually stopped talking to and dealing with Chris. Was AB had put, what was it? So it was the interview with Hunter where Hunter says the name Andy. AB had cut that up and put it on his channel. Chris put it in his Patreon because he wanted to make money off of it, and he wanted to leave it there for a bit of time so that he could build his Patreon up with the name of the person that Hunter released. That was, that's what it was all about. So he wanted me to get that taken down off of AB's channel. And I was like, I have no control over what someone else puts on their channel. And he gave me a countdown. He flipped out. I didn't do it quick enough for him, I guess. And I was at the grocery store and I said I would put a message in to AB for him. And on my way pulling into my driveway, he was telling me that I had 3 minutes or else. And I was just like, wow, this is crazy. On the phone, standing in the freezer aisle of the grocery store, Chris McDonough was telling me what I was going to do, much like what he did to Jeannie, telling her what she was going to do and that she had to do certain things and deal with things certain ways, and ordering her on how to handle things when she said she had no intention whatsoever of going forward anymore. This is what he does. He manhandles people when they don't want to do what he wants them to. Hey, Miss Christine, how are you? Alicia P., I will say that that phone call is very questionable in the sense of the way that it was handled, and it definitely had me raising my eyebrow for like the whole entire time. Because while I didn't question if it was, I had to question the way that they, the man was asking these. It was so unprofessional. I guess it was just the unprofessional feeling that you would get from that phone call when you listen to it. It's kind of bizarre. And you're just sitting there like, wait, is this even real? Right? Firstly, because they're not sending this phone call redacted. That is very unheard of. Yes, and it is also, I agree with you, Angie Hensley. It's gross that these grown men talk about SA of a little girl. Yes, like they're infatuated with it. Justin is also notorious for talking about SA of Summer, and we have no proof that that's ever happened. Ink, always a pleasure. TM much. Good to see you, Ink. Chris could care less about 610 people on YouTube. Absolutely right. William Eyelash, he could care less about one person on YouTube. For sure. Tiffany, I tagged you on my community post. Why are you lying about Chris M not being with the CCF? You obviously don't do your research. LOL. Here's the link with his name and position. Susie Hantz, I don't know. When I go to the Cold Case Foundation website, he's not listed with the people. And I don't know you, so I would not be looking at your community post tab. You can search the Cold Case Foundation website and pull up the page with all of the people. He's not listed. Sorry. So I don't know. I'll take a look later. If you mentioned me, I'll see if I can find you, but I don't even know who you are. So, and I'm live. So for you to think that I would be looking at your community post tab while I'm live is kind of strange. Susie Hantz. Why would I be looking at your community post tab? Don't you see I'm busy? So weird. Some people are so weird. You must have just added it overnight. Joy Morgan, I've just found out in my old high school friend group that a lot of the ones I thought were true friends, and I just now, after 40 years, figured out they were just like Josh and CM. Joy Morgan, I'm so sorry. There's fake people everywhere. Hey, T-Bori. Stacy Beautiful, I messaged on your chat. I love Stacy Chit Chats. He's negatively impacted several families. More than that, yeah. Mm-hmm. He needs to admit to what he's really doing here. All he's doing is targeting Dawn with actual survivors. It's terrible. He's making more victims, and it's gross. Lippy says, TM, I'm glad you're finally speaking on what you know. Well, I just would like to, I would like people to know and be done with this. I would like them to stop lying on these ladies. Oh my God, this person is crazy. Sue Hance, you have to go. I'm sorry. Like, you are being really crazy in my chat. Cold Case Foundation is a membership of talent scam. They never solved a cold case. Heels in the air. Yeah. So, like, maybe I'll do some more research on the Cold Case Foundation. I don't know. Susie wants me to do research. I think I should. What do you think? And thank you, Heels, for speaking on what you know also. She was doing this because Chris has been making money off of victims. Alicia, so I would probably put that like further even down the line. I'm more concerned about them than I am about the money he makes. Honestly, he can make all the money he wants. Just make it the right way, the honest way. It's like people pay people to lie to them around here. Maybe they like being lied to, but why would you pay people to lie? Why would you pay people to lie to you? I have no idea if he paid Allie and H for the interview. I don't know. I'm glad someone's finally saying this. Well, you know what? Someone needs to say it because he's actually taking advantage of people that are not going to feel comfortable, right? And at this point, it's all being brought back up. It's being dug back up, and it's being we're seeing the wave of the essay stuff come back, right? For a while, it was like, quiet, and everything was kind of, it was crazy around here, but not surrounding them. Now this came back up, and I'm seeing what's taking place, and I cannot not say anything. I just cannot. Well, I'm coming through chat here. Hey, bless this mess. So good to see you. Let's see. I'm behind, but I knew there were no open charges in Utah. I can't for the life of me remember where I heard it. Pink Pillow. I know that. Let's see. So I think it is a front. Gray Hughes can't stand CM, and Gray donates a lot to Cold Case Foundations. Well, there you go, niece. Yeah, I know. He does a lot of the donation streams. Gray does. Yeah, CM is a perfect example of why victims stay quiet. Right. And I think that a lot of people have probably learned here from what he's doing to actual victims. It's not okay. What people will do for money. It's unbelievable. It's just sickening, really. CM grew his channel from about 10K to over 100K off Summer and her family. Yeah, he did. He really did, Pamela. But the thing is, that doesn't really matter to me. Like, what matters is that this doesn't continue on. I just want to put a stop to it more than anything. And I wish that they could just, be honest with the people, because they do deserve to know. Everybody deserves to know the truth, and no one needs to be further harassed anymore. Heels in the air. I think that person was saying was that Gray doesn't donate to the Cold Case Foundation. That's all. Like, they were saying that he donates to a lot of cold case, we don't want to say foundation. That's why I think you took it wrong, because he donates to a lot of charities for cold cases. And that person was saying he's never donated to the CCF. That's all. I think it was just confusing. Who even provokes a known abuser like that? Question mark. We all saw Don assault his wife live. No, we didn't see him assault her live. We just heard a sound. See, that's also Loveland. I don't know if you know or remember, but I remember saying no one ever saw Don hit Candace. No one. They just said that he hit her. That happened on Molly's. I remember that. But we didn't see him assault her. We did not. We just heard a loud noise. And like even stuff as simple as that, people don't even remember. It was said that he hit her, but we didn't see it. So we could never say we saw it. It's hard. A lot of these things get lost. Now I'm wondering how many more secrets are out there that are not being brought out to the public. I would say a lot. Scylla says, I stopped watching CM many months ago. Something about him. He stopped feeling genuine. I don't think he ever was genuine. He was very pompous. We were all told people don't understand these things take time. And yeah, sure they do. But they knew nothing was happening. Yet just the other day was double and tripling down, saying it again. Yeah, and that's why I'm here. And I will continue to come back the more they lie. This has been very eye-opening. I remember TM talking about this over a year ago. Yeah, I did come live to talk about this a year ago, but no one was listening. They might not listen now either, but it's the truth. I think, yes, Kiko. Yeah, it sounded like a slap. Right. We heard a recording that multiple people have drawn their own conclusion to. Yes. The latest is the 911 call contained disgusting things about Summer. Heels in the air. Did you see all of the stop daddy stops in the chat over there? I'm so disgusted. Hey, Constance. I remember it was the same night Molly asked Don if he wanted to come play. She just got out of the shower. Yep, Constance has the mind of an elephant. She remembers. I love Constance Sue. Will you guys please subscribe to Constance Sue? I would like to drop her link. Hold on a minute. She's a really good lady. And Constance has a wonderful heart. I don't normally share people's channel links anymore, but I would like you to subscribe to Constance Sue because she has a heart of gold. All right. Here, subscribe to Constance, please. I wanted to do this the last time I was live. Just subscribe to Constance if you would and show her some love. She's a sweetie. There we go. All right, I'm going to end this for now. If I have to come back, I will. I have 5 pages of notes here in front of me. I dare them to lie. I have not said everything that I need to say, not by a long shot. They need to stop. Really. Like, I could not be more serious. They're dealing with actual survivors. Those are real women with real beating hearts. And Josh, please redact the name, the most recent name that no one's ever heard before. Please redact that out of your live stream, please. There's only one person left that you guys have not named. Please make sure that name never comes out. You don't have their permission to put their names out there. And You know what else? You have to ask for their consent every single time you talk about them. Stop putting these ladies out there like that. You don't get to do this to them anymore. Ask for their consent like you would if you were having sex with someone, okay? Because you're discussing sexual activity. And that's their story to tell. Stop telling other people's stories. They did not consent to you putting their names out there. It's not right. It's not okay. And I do not stand for it. Okay? It's the same thing. It's no different. Okay? They're being raped over and over and over again every single time you do it. So think of it just like that. Maybe you'll think twice before you do it again. You shouldn't need a mommy to tell you so. Everybody have a great night.